Hey guys, I hope you're doing awesome. Um, so, um, I hope you guys did the new moon manifesting. If you haven't, you still can. You can do it at any time. I know that I've talked to a number of you, and it's been a difficult week for some of you. Just old stuff coming up, which can happen, different times of the year. Scorpio season, like I said, it is very much about death and rebirth. And sometimes things come to the surface. And we do have a Mercury in retrograde coming up. Now, these things do not have power over us, but they can at times be beneficial in helping us to kind of face challenging emotions or challenging momentum and still know that we have a choice about how we're going to react, how we're going to respond, what we're going to put our focus on. And so I know, that some of us in here may have a desire like to be with a certain person or a certain type of person or to have a specific kind of life or outcome. But whether it's due to being an empath, so really feeling other people's emotions and feeling deeply, so that starts to impact our ability to manifest, or just so many entrenched beliefs that go against what we're trying to manifest, that it can be difficult at times. Now, because we are setting the intention and we are awakening and ascending, you are always going from like glory to glory. Okay, so nothing is ever as bad as it seems. Like every few months, you'll be able to look back and see that you have come further than you expected to. But I wanted to share a few things tonight that can help you when you really are trying to manifest something very specific. We've already talked a lot about the variances in vibration and how it affects manifesting, especially if we're trying to come from control. Because if we're trying to come from control, that is because we feel fear that we can't really have it, okay? So that means we will analyze every detail and we will talk ourselves out of what it is we are trying to create. We will, you know, list in our mind everything that could go wrong, everything we're seeing and what it means. We will assign definitions to the person or the situation that go completely diametrically against what we are trying to create, okay? And when we're coming from a high vibration, that means we don't need the thing or the circumstance to complete us, and we're able to focus on multiple different things, including, like I said, meditation, which is a great test to know if you can actually clear your mind enough to stay neutral so that you can focus on the end, on the desired manifestation that you want, okay? So often we look at, it's like we want to manifest something, and then we like do this microscopic test, like check of all the little details, and we actually go against what we're trying to create. Now, maybe you've seen some of those like quizzes or tests where they show you just a portion of the picture and you have to guess, or they show you a close up of something and you have to guess. And so often you can be wrong because it looks like something that it's not. Okay. So if you're trying to manifest something specifically, but you keep looking at different like little points in the roadmap, it'd be like you're trying to get to Texas and then you're looking at like Kansas, which is on the way there, but it's not Texas. So you're like, see, no, you label like Texas as Kansas, but that was just like a dot on the journey. Okay. So you don't want to hyper focus on the details. You want to imagine, feel the end, and then let it go and begin to focus on everything else that you should have in your rich, full, abundant life. Okay? Open yourself up for whatever experiences are guiding you towards the end, knowing that it is not a reflection of your worth when you see Kansas and you wanted to see Texas because it's part of the road trip. There is a story I wanted to tell you. It's actually from the Bible. It is a story about the Israelites and Moses, okay? So the Israelites were slaves in Egypt, all right? And collectively, they wanted to be delivered. And they focused on, I'm sure, as they were lifting like huge, bricks up it to build like a sphinx or a pyramid, they were all dreaming about the day they would be delivered, visualizing. That was the only hope. And all these specific circumstances came about for them to be delivered. And it started with another woman's vision. Young Hebrew boys were being killed. And so she took her son and put him in a basket in the reeds. And she set the intention, he will survive. And she let him go. She completely let him go and had faith in her vision because that was her only choice. Well, who found him? An Egyptian princess who had set an intention to be a mother. And she raised him as her own. And that baby's name was Moses. And Moses eventually rose up to be the deliverer of the Israelites in Egypt. And, when they finally were about to escape, they believed so much, they had set that vision, that there was nothing that could stop it. Nothing. The seas parted. Okay, so they see these two precarious seas and they went through. They could have stopped and been like, well, what if we drown? No, they believed in their vision. Well, to reiterate how important focusing on the end is and having a vision, because without vision, the people perish. As soon as they got across, they didn't have vision. They didn't have vision. And what happened? They ended up wandering in the desert for 40 years, okay? And they had a lot of mistakes as they were doing that. They focused, first off, Moses, instead of recognizing that it was the vision and the belief that they would be delivered that delivered them, they started to think Moses was the reason they were delivered. No, Moses was a piece in the puzzle. Well, Moses, he began to prophesy death over them. Like, oh, you guys made a mistake. You're going to wander for 40 days or 40 years. He, in fact, when they felt like Moses wasn't doing enough, they began to worship a golden calf, thinking, well, maybe if we do this. So they started to focus so much on the ritual of it, instead of it being like a tool. They thought that was the answer. And Moses came down from the mountain, saw them doing that, and he didn't have a high vibration. He melted down the gold and made them drink it, and then cursed them, saying, you will wander for 40 years. Now, how often do we do that? We set this intention, like, I'm going to lead the way, I'm going to manifest this, and then we curse the very thing that we're meant to be leading. The very thing, we curse what it is that we're trying to create. Now, what's also pretty miraculous, the whole time they were in the desert, manna fell from heaven every day. So they clearly believed that they were going to be taken care of, they were going to be fed, and so they were, but the bare minimum. And when they would complain, complaining didn't make it happen faster. Focusing on the negative didn't make it happen faster. And the other crazy thing is, right when they finally found the promised land, Moses did not enter the promised land. So I feel like sometimes that is like when we see we're trying to manifest something and then we start cursing it and we see that person find the promised land but without us, or we see that situation happen for somebody else, it's because we begin to curse it. We begin to judge it, become legalistic. So that is my spiel for tonight. I'm keeping it short because I know a lot of you are behind on videos. I do say to be careful about manifesting a specific person, but when I am saying, or a specific circumstance, when I am saying that, I'm talking about the vibration, being obsessed about it, constantly having to check, constantly thinking that that is what is going to be your savior, because that will get you stuck in a loop, okay? when you're falling asleep, visualize the end. You know, you can do that every night, but then let it breathe. Like when you're during the day, you have plenty of things that you can be building in your life, plenty of things you can be doing to take care of you. And truthfully, we should be able to feel okay without that thing and be open and receptive to other things and other experiences coming in, because that is high awareness, high consciousness, ascending, healing, becoming the powerful people that we are. All right. I just want to give you guys so much love tonight. Be encouraged that you're not messing it up. Like this, this journey that we have embarked on, it is a very deep, big journey that so many people don't choose to embark on. They choose to ignore it, you know? So you are strong. You are connected to your higher self. You are listening. You are growing. You don't have to be 100% perfect. There is grace for you, okay? But know that when you are feeling those deep lows, it's coming because there's fear, shame, guilt, a desire to control, to, you know, to push. Now, when you're playing pool, when you push that cue, it sends everything scattering. It looks messy, you know? So, and that can happen too when we're manifesting. You know, you might see everything scatter, but just know in your heart it's scattering to you know, get the 8 ball in the corner pocket or whatever. Don't focus on the resistance. Don't focus on Kansas when you're headed to Texas, all right? Which is hard to do because Kansas is a long drive. But, you know, you should find things to keep your mind busy. And one awesome technique you can use is stop yourself. What is my next thought going to be? When you ask yourself that, you give yourself a beat, okay? And get back thinking about something else as soon as possible. Spend time meditating so you can stay in neutrality so that you can observe. You are not your thoughts. Your ego will want to fight. Your ego has spent years and years and years getting attention and getting validation certain ways, okay? Old habits can die hard, but I'm believing tonight that we're making a shift, okay? I love you guys. Bye.